Birds. Nature's way of reminding us of the beauty of life. From their beautiful songs to their freeing ability of flight, they truly are some of the most fascinating creatures on earth. Well, some of them.
Pigeon, I don't mind riding a pigeon. Big double R off a lot, no higher. The V's on fire, but I'm still whipping. Came for the bag, grab that and I'm dipping. Landed a pack back, credit I'm flipping. Purple slime, double cup, top sipping. Backstrap split, moon watch while I'm billing. Pop said you don't live twice, so you best think twice. Bring a match or wherever you're kipping. I weren't brought up to go slide or slipping.
Pigeons. You've all seen them, heard them, maybe even had the misfortune of standing below their droppings, but it's safe to say they're one of the most recognisable animals in the UK. But are they cute and cuddly or just flying pests? Well, we'll see what people think. Hello.
Hi.
What are your opinions on pigeons?
Well, I think pigeons are great. I think, they're very cute.
I think they're quite cute and misunderstood. Yeah, and they don't deserve all the abuse.
So my personal opinions on pigeons, right, is that I believe they're like pests to us humans.
I don't mind them, but I do think they fly a little bit too close to people's heads. But other than that, they're pretty harmless.
I think they're mistreated though, I often see people not being very nice to them, and sometimes you'll see like a pigeon, it's like missing a foot. It's very sad. I sympathise with the pigeons. I think people should be a lot nicer to pigeons, to be fair. People go around kicking them and stuff.
Yeah, the lack of foot, that's from string foot, which is basically litter, and it gets wrapped around the foot and it cuts their circulation off, so then their foot just falls off basically.
I think they're amazing. I think they're beautiful creatures. I feel like people often say lion's the king of the jungle. What about pigeons? King of the world.
King of the cities, maybe. That's what we rule. They're in.
King of the concrete jungle.
Yeah, the concrete jungle. I feel like that would be appropriate.
A lot of them are quite injured and need help, which they don't get. So I think it'd be better if we helped them a bit more.
I think they carry diseases. Sometimes in the past we've called them flying rats.
Oh yeah, I've heard that term. Yeah, popular one.
I would like them to learn personal space, but other than that, I don't mind. They kind of just stay away other than that.
I don't think they're all bad. I think domesticated ones, they're quite cute. But overall, I just don't really like being crowded by them.
Oh, I don't like this shit everywhere though. But I feel like, I guess if you are king of the concrete jungle, you can sort of shit where you want. But don't shit on me. One time I was in Piccadilly Gardens having a great time, sitting down, taking in the smoke. And then a pigeon shot in my hair, and then a person I hadn't met before had to pick it out for me.
We share the planet, and we should really shouldn't take it from those who have a right to be here as much as we do.
Exactly, making it difficult for the poor animals, not just pigeons, but, pigeons are suffering for it.
Yeah, it's awful. Thank you.
Thanks.
Pigeons were domesticated by humans between 5,000 and 10,000 years ago and became one of the most crucial proteins across Europe and the Middle East. However, it was discovered that pigeons have a very unique ability where they can find their way home over long distances. Of course, humans utilised this skill to create a system of communication built on the back of pigeons. These were known as homing pigeons or carrier pigeons. You could say pigeons were the original telephones, with their skills being used across the globe to bridge the gap between empires. Even the founder of the Mongol Empire, Genghis Khan, had a system of pigeons set up from Eastern Europe through Asia. Pigeons were especially popular during war times, as the United Kingdom alone used 250,000 birds to carry messages across battle zones, then eventually discontinuing their use in 1948. However, pigeons were still kept as pets for their beauty and used in races. They were treated in very high regard, similar to that of a working horse. So, this is a bird's eye view then. I'm not very good with heights, to be honest with you. Anyway, so what changed? It sounds like mankind owe a lot to these surprisingly talented birds. Well, in 1963, 2 deaths were officially blamed on pigeons spreading disease, and only a few years later the very widely used term rats with wings grew very popular. Yeah, alright, now I gotta get down. Yikes. Well, of course the Spread of disease played a huge part in the downfall of pigeons, but we also must consider the other factors, such as just the simple fact that there wasn't much use for them anymore. I mean, people used to use pigeons to send messages to far distances. Sounds pretty convenient, right? The bird does all the work for them. But watch this. See, so what I just did there was send a message to another person in under 2 seconds on this little device that I can carry with me anywhere I go. Now, what do we used to use pigeons for? Sending messages. Now, if we have these and everyone has one, it's not like they're a rare, well, they can be expensive, but not too expensive. What is the need for pigeons? We can all just use one of these electronic devices. So yeah, pigeons just seem like a lot of unnecessary fuss really, and so yeah, they're just obsolete, and they have been for a while now. I'm now currently on my way to meet someone with the biggest appreciation for pigeons I have ever seen in my entire life, to get his opinion on the treatment of pigeons in society. Hello.
Hi,
What's your name?
I'm Philip.
Okay, I'm aware that you take quite a liking to pigeons.
It's more that they took a liking to me. I work around here, and I found out a few years ago that basically, if you sit here, you get left well alone. And it's just you and the pigeons. This is really it's the only quiet place in Stockport, but there's sirens in the background.
Yeah, true.
It's quiet relatively.
So when did you start hanging around with pigeons?
I love that question. Well, I got an office job a few years ago, and on my breaks I'd walk into Stockport and there was nowhere to sit where I wouldn't really be bothered by, there's loads of salesmen around, and this is kind of the only place that they don't go. So I sat here and I realised the pigeons had the same idea.
Oh yeah.
So we've just kind of bonded over a mutual hatred of salesmen, really.
How often do you see cases of stringfoot?
Not very often in Stockport. I don't know why that is. You see it a lot more often in Manchester. There's only one, I think, today with stringfoot.
It's a brown one somewhere.
He's gone away. Yeah, he's gone to get it fixed. But no, I don't see it too often.
Well, that's good then. That's a good sign. I mean, they do look a lot rougher in Manchester, I've noticed.
Yeah, they do. They're braver as well in Manchester. They'll just steal things from you.
Yeah, they're like seagulls almost.
Yeah, rough pigeons.
Yeah. So, are you involved in any sort of, communities with pigeons or anything like that?
I'm sort of on the fringes. There's a Facebook group for people that are looking after pigeons and sorting stringfoot out and stuff like that. I'm not that experienced. I've never dealt with a case of stringfoot, so I just sort of watch from the background and see how other people do it. It's just nice to know there's other people out there looking after them.
Yeah. So, I'm sure you're aware a lot of people don't like pigeons, and they use the term rats with wings. What are your opinions on that term? Because there have been cases of pigeons allegedly causing deaths due to disease. What are your opinions on that?
Skill issue. If you get poisoned by a pigeon, that's on you.
Yeah, I mean,
personally,
all animals carry disease.
Rats are chill as well. So call them sky rats. I'm like, that just sounds cool.
Yeah, but rats
that's
are cute.
A band name.
Yeah.
I'd see the sky rats. Oh, you're on my bag.
Oh. So what treatment of pigeons have you seen personally, good and bad?
Well, I'll start with the good. There was a while ago, I sat here and there was a guy reading verses from, I think, possibly the Quran or another book, and he was singing to the pigeons here. And it was one of my first days sat here. And I was sat here and he was sat on one of those steps over there, and we both nodded at each other and each had our own private army of pigeons. And it was really nice to think that we're both probably escaping the day job for a little bit and chilling out with the pigeons, who most of the time they want to be left alone as well. As much as some people are scared of pigeons, pigeons are scared of some people as well, because animals can pick up on that. And there was another time, there's a couple that had just moved here from Africa, and they were asking me how I feed the pigeons, and they were asking me if they bite, and then and stuff like that. And it is funny because it's so normal to us to see them every day, and I had to say to them, well, yeah, they do, but you can't really feel it. And I was well, don't feed geese because they'll just outright mug you.
True.
They'll be.
Yeah, I've fed geese before.
I feed geese anyway, but it's not a good. A pigeon's a gateway bird.
Oh,
you have to work up to geese.
I never actually realised how easy it was to attract pigeons, just, simply based on the fact that they do just fly away all the time, and I thought maybe you had to earn their trust. But when I was starting this documentary and I started feeding pigeons, it just came to me right away, and I was quite surprised because not many other birds will really do that, and I suppose that is because they are domesticated.
Yeah, they are definitely, but still are domesticated. I'd argue more domesticated than cats, to be honest.
Really?
Because cats are with us by choice, and we have to change pigeons, change their behaviour. They can't even make nests properly.
Yeah.
Bad treatment of pigeons. Well, there was a while, about 6 months ago, there was like 3 teenagers up on them steps, and they'd found a dead pigeon and they were kicking it down the steps, and the other pigeons were sort of sat watching it happen.
That's horrid.
Yeah, and I did get involved.
Oh, really?
And it did stop.
What did you do?
I just walked up to them and said, "What the fuck are you doing?" And they went, "What the fuck are you doing?" I was like, well, "I'm asking you what the fuck you're doing." And they went, "No, what the fuck are you doing?" I was just like, "This is just not going to work." And they just walked off. So yeah, they left, and then I came back later on in the day, and a cleaner just picked the pigeon up and put it in a bin, and that upset me more, to be honest. That bothered me more, because I was like, right, so McDonald's cups get to stay on the floor, but a pigeon goes in the bin. I think the attitude's changing. People did used to be scared of pigeons, but now I think the internet's changed human culture tremendously, and people can actually talk to each other now.
Yeah.
So you can be at home thinking, oh, pigeons are horrible, and your algorithm will show you a picture of like a pigeon on someone's hand being quite friendly, and you'll realise, oh, actually maybe they're not that bad.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there are some cases of people getting sick from handling pigeons, but if you wash your hands afterwards, generally it's like, you go outside, you go home to eat, you're going to wash your hands because you don't know what you've touched while you're outside.
Yeah.
And pigeons are outside, so it's quite simple. It's like, I think people just need to wash their hands more often. Yeah.
I'd say the internet has probably changed a lot of viewpoints. I have seen a lot of pigeon content. If I didn't, I probably wouldn't have made the documentary in the first place.
Yeah, exactly. So it opens your mind to stuff. For me, it was like just respite from the office job and from being nagged, and this is genuinely the only place in Stockport you can sit and be left alone.
Thanks to the pigeons.
Pigeons come and hang out with you. Yeah, because I'm still benefiting. I'm bracketed by people's like continued fear of pigeons. It's a fear of disease which gets projected onto the pigeons.
Yeah, bit of a scapegoat, really.
Yeah, definitely. But like, I was writing some jokes the other day. I got a terrible one. I said, like, if you're a rat in London, you have to be careful because you're never more than 6 feet away from a Londoner. And I think it's daft as hell, but like, the point being that everybody just looks at another species and thinks it's dirty. Like, we're scared of what we don't know, and that's fine. That's how we've evolved. That's the only reason we're still alive now as a species, is we get spooked by stuff we're not familiar with. But now we're intelligent enough to actually look at that bias and think, you know what, pigeons aren't actually scary. They're definitely not a natural like predator to us. There's nothing to be worried about. But I think during COVID as well, a lot of people got more scared of pigeons because they were thinking about bird flu again.
I feel like there isn't really much reason to hate them, especially given that all the things they've done for people, like during war times, and they were basically the original telephone. If we ever, sending messages.
Yeah, and if we ever lose the internet, if some catastrophe ever happens, we'll be begging the pigeons to work for us.
We'll be on our knees.
We'll be desperate. Yeah. Please, I need to send this meme. Please be domesticated again. It's really good. It's a really good meme.
These gifted animals live in our bridges, underpasses, building ledges, and all over our man-made cities, doing the best they can in the home they're no longer welcome in. Hopefully the future looks brighter for them and people start to appreciate their presence just a little bit more, whether that be because of their talents and history or just their quirky charm. The world would be a much nicer place if mankind showed a little more gratitude for our old companions.